Hi yogis, welcome. Today I've got a full-length, all levels Vinyasa class for you. The theme is flowing with intention. My name's Becky and today I'm at Croydon Yoga Hub. This is where I teach in London. So there's no fluffy bunny shenanigans unfortunately today. We're going to get started on our backs in reclined butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of feet come together, knees fall open. Feel free to press pause and grab a couple of yoga props. If you like, this pose can be a bit intense first thing. So you might like to have a couple of blocks placed underneath the thighs. It might also be nice to have a blanket underneath the head. And once you're settled, I invite you to close your eyes and bring your awareness inward. Releasing the weight of your body to the ground, letting go of any holding, tension or gripping of the muscles, and really softening the tissues of the body, melting into the mat, and bringing your focus to your breath. And as we begin to move throughout class, I'd like you to move slowly with intention. Really think about moving with the breath and noticing the different sensations in the body. So just being really present with your movements. Take a long, slow, deep inhale and exhale through the mouth. Again, inhaling slowly and deeply, and then exhale through the mouth to let it go. To release from this pose, bring your hands to the outer thighs and slowly press the legs together, knees pointing up to the ceiling. Bring your soles of the feet as wide as the mat, arms spread into a T shape. And on an inhale, lower the knees to the right, gaze turns to the left. And exhale, draw the knees back to center. And then inhale, knees fall to the left, look right. Exhale, return to center. So take a couple more rounds just like this, moving the knees with the breath. And next time your knees fall to the right, pause there. Option to place the right foot on top of the left thigh. But if that's too intense, don't do it. I'm really breathing deeply in this twist. And now releasing the foot if it's on the thigh. And begin to bring your knees over to the other side and pausing. And if you did it on the other side, placing the left foot on top of the right thigh. Okay, releasing the foot now, bringing the knees back to the center, and then draw them in towards your chest, giving yourself a big hug. Maybe take some gentle rocks from side to side, just gently massaging the low spine. And then from here, taking hold behind the thighs, take some rock and rolls up and down the spine. So coming up into the sitting bones and then rocking back down, rounding through the spine. Okay, next time you're up, cross at the ankles and rock forward onto hands and knees, finding tabletop. Fingers spread wide, coming into cat-cow. So inhale, chest reaches forward, and exhale, rounding through the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, arching through the spine, tailbone lifts, and exhale to round, shoulder blades separating. Keep going, moving with your breath. This time, as you round on your exhale, send the hips back to heels, finding child's pose, forehead rests on the mat. And from here, lift the torso to come and sit up on your heels. And place your fingertips behind you. Inhale, squeeze shoulder blades together, lift the chest, lift the hips. And exhale, lower back down, making your way forward into tabletop. And inhale, find cow pose, chest reaches forward. Exhale, round all the way back to child's pose, and then lift the torso to sit on the heels, fingertips behind you. Inhale, lifting hips, lifting chest, and exhale, lowering, coming back to table. Inhale, cow pose, and exhale, rounding back to child's. Coming back up to sit on your heels, fingertips behind, chest and hips lift. And just keep moving like this through this kriya. So really feeling into each movement and the sensations it creates, moving fluidly with your breath. These types of kriyas really help us to draw our focus inward. The next time you're in child's pose, I'd like you to stay there. Knees can come wide this time, really sinking into the hips. Maybe shifting from side to side a few times. And now gently press up into tabletop. Fingers spread wide, tuck the toes and press into the hands to send the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Knees can be bent, you can pedal out the feet. You might want to shift the hips from side to side, just arriving into the shape and moving however you like. And really think about leading with the body here rather than the mind. What does your body want? And then coming into stillness, keeping a bend in the knees if hamstrings are tight. And then from here, take baby steps up to the top of the mat, bending knees enough so that belly drapes over the thighs, feet are hips width. Taking hold of opposite elbows, gently swaying from side to side, really releasing any tension in the neck, allowing the spine to release. Alright, release your hands and then interlace your hands behind your back, reaching your knuckles up and overhead any amount as you continue to fold the torso over the legs. And from here you can gently and subtly begin to shift the knuckles from side to side. This is just a small movement if it feels okay in the shoulders. Just working into different parts of the shoulders. Coming back to center and with knuckles reaching over the head, on an inhale, bend the knees and sink the hips low. So coming up into a chair pose but keeping the interlace of the hands. And then as you exhale, return to your forward fold, driving forward. Again, on your inhale, transition to chair pose, so bending the knees, sinking hips down. And then exhale to fold back over the legs. One more time, coming up into chair pose, sinking hips low. And then exhale to fold, and releasing your hands this time as you fold. Bending knees, press into the mat as you begin to slowly roll up through the spine, coming up to stand one vertebra at a time. Your head is the last thing to rise. Coming into Tadasana, take a few shoulder rolls when you arrive. And then pause in your Tadasana, palms face forward. Feet to hips width or narrower if you prefer. Inhale, arms reach overhead. And exhale, hinge from the hips to fold. Inhale, spine lengthens halfway, hands to shins. Exhale, plant hands to the mat. Take a big step back with the left foot, lower back knee. Inhale, rise up to low lunge, arms reach up. And as you exhale, lower the hands to frame your front foot, back knee lifts and step the right foot back to plank. Lower the knees and bend elbows to come all the way onto your belly. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra. And exhale to lower back down, pushing through the hands to make your way back into downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here, tailbone lifting high towards the ceiling. Really prioritizing length in the spine, so maybe you're keeping those knees bent. Reconnecting with your breath. And on your next inhale, left leg lifts up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. And exhale, draw the knee into the chest and step the left foot next to the left thumb, back knee lowers, rise on up into your low lunge. And then bringing hands to hips. From here, lift the back knee and take a big step up to the top of the mat. Hands come to prayer in front of the heart. Second side. Coming into your Tadasana, lowering the arms and then lifting them back up, and on inhale and exhale, folding over the legs. Inhale, spine lifts halfway. Exhale, right foot steps back this time, coming up into your low lunge on your inhale. And then exhale to plant the hands down. Stepping back into plank, lowering the knees, lowering all the way to belly. From here, inhale as you lift into cobra, pressing into the tops of the feet. And exhale, lower and press your way back into downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths in your down dog. On your next inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, drawing knee to the chest, stepping up next to the thumb. Back knee lowers. Inhale, rise up into low lunge, lifting the arms. Exhale, hands to hips, lifting back knee, and a big step up into Tadasana. We're going to repeat that sequence again. So from your Tadasana, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left foot steps back, low lunge. Come on up, lifting the arms. And then exhale to lower the arms, stepping back to plank. This time maybe taking chaturanga, shifting forward, bending the elbows. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lifting left leg towards the sky, and exhale, stepping that foot next to the thumb, coming up into low lunge again, back knees lowered, and then taking hands to hips, lifting back knee, and this time as you step up, try and catch hold of the knee, or just lift the knee. I'm not catching it. Coming down into Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right foot steps back, low lunge. Inhale to reach up, and then exhale, lowering the hands, stepping back to plank. Maybe you shift forward, bend the elbows, hovering, chaturanga. Inhale, reaching that chest forward in your up dog, and then exhale into your downward dog. Long, deep breaths here, really reconnecting to your breath in your down dog. And then inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, stepping that foot next to the right thumb, lowering back knee, coming up into low lunge. Taking hands to hips, lifting back knee, stepping up to Tadasana, but hugging that left foot up, squeezing it in towards the chest, and releasing Tadasana. From here, our first flow. Sun salutations are done. On your next inhale, sweeping arms overhead. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, chest lifts halfway. And exhale, stepping back with the left foot, low lunge. Holding this low lunge for a few breaths. Maybe you want to pad the knee with a folded blanket. And make this low lunge your own based on how your body is feeling today. Maybe that's really sinking low into the hips like me, or maybe your hips stack above the back knee as you play with a back bend. Maybe lifting the chest up towards the ceiling, so whatever you fancy. And then lower the hands, straighten to the front leg, coming into half splits. Inhale, lifting spine halfway. Exhale to fold. Again, inhale, lifting the chest forward, and exhale, folding, staying in your fold this time. On your next inhale, lift and lengthen your spine, planting left palm on the mat or to the block, keeping spine long, rotating the upper torso to the right, lifting your right arm, half splits, twist. Turning gaze up towards the right hand if that feels okay on your neck. And keep those right toes flexing towards the face. On your next exhale, lower the arm, rebend the front leg, and transition into plank. Vinyasa, shifting forward, lowering into chaturanga. Inhale, pull the chest forward, upward dog. Exhale, using that core to draw the hips up and back. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, stepping left forward in between the hands, back knee lowers. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, circling the arms down, lifting back knee, stepping to the top of the mat, this time catching your knee, squeezing it in towards the chest. Staying here, I'm just going to turn to demo the next pose and take hold of your right ankle and place it either above or below the knee for tree pose, keeping your hips as level as possible, pressing foot into the leg and pressing leg into the foot. An option to find a side bend here. Right forearm rests on the lifted leg while you crescent the left arm overhead, finding your balance, but not worrying if you fall out. Just come back into the pose and really breathing and finding presence in this shape. Okay, releasing your tree pose and straightening the leg out in front of you as high as you can, holding and releasing. Shake it out. And we'll take that to the other side. So inhale, arms reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping right foot back, low lunge. And staying in your low lunge this time. And choosing your adventure, maybe that's really sinking the hips low. Maybe that's keeping the hips stacked above the back knee. Maybe you find a back bend. And now from here, transition into half splits. Maybe you're shuffling that front foot forward a little bit. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale, folding over the leg. Inhale, reaching forward for the chest to lengthen. And exhale, release. Are you flexing those left toes? Coming up halfway, planting that right hand down and twisting open to the left. Are you finding the rotation in the upper spine? Releasing left arm down, rebending, coming into runner's lunge and stepping back to plank vinyasa. From here, reaching right leg up and an inhale, exhale, stepping it next to the right thumb. Inhale, coming up into low lunge and then taking hold of the hips, taking a big step forward to the top of the mat, catching hold of the left knee this time. Staying there. And now transitioning into your tree pose on the second side. So this time you're really pressing the left foot into the right leg into the left foot. Maybe you're taking that banana side bend. Really finding one point in front of you that's not moving to focus your gaze on, to really help with your balance. And then releasing your tree. Straightening that left leg out in front of you as high as you can. This is always so painful. And then release Tadasana, coming back to the top of your mat. Right from here, lifting the arms and folding forward. This time taking a bind, so wrapping peace fingers around the big toe. Standing elbows wide as you fold deeper. On an inhale, releasing your bind, come up halfway. Exhale, rebend deeply. Inhale, sweeping the arms overhead. And exhale, hands to prayer. Tadasana. Alright, we flow again. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left foot steps back. Back knee stays lifted this time. Coming into a deep runner's lunge. Taking hands to hips, bend into your back knee as you lengthen the tailbone down. And now keep that back knee bent or straighten it any amount. Finding a really deep lunge here, lifting the arms, maybe leaning the torso back a little bit. gaze can lift, lots of energy out through the back foot. And now use your arms to help you find momentum to propel forward into Warrior 3. Straightening that right leg once you find your balance. Imagine you're pressing the back foot into a wall behind you. The back foot can be pointed or flexed, as long as it's active, I don't care. And from here, fold the torso over the front leg, standing splits, lifting that left leg as high as you can without opening the hips, so really keeping that left hip point facing down towards the mat. Your left leg is super engaged here, really lifting through the glute. An option to challenge your balance by placing one or both hands around the calf. And release, stepping back into runner's lunge. Then finding plank and vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward dog. Alright, on an inhale, lift that left leg. And opening up the hips. Option to stay here or flip your dog, finding wild thing. You're lifting hips, lifting chest, reaching behind you, and I'll come back into your three-legged dog. And stepping that left foot to the top of the mat, coming into low lunge. Lifting back knee, you know the drill by now, stepping up to the top of the mat, catching the knee. From here, grabbing hold of a strap, feel free to press pause if you need to go find one. Coming into Utthita Padangusthasana, so wrapping your strap around the ball of the right foot, taking hold of it, or taking hold of the big toe if flexibility allows for you. Now begin to open that right leg out to the side. Left arm also reaches out to the left, finding your balance. Bring that leg back to center and take hold of the strap with both hands and fold forward over the leg any amount. And release the leg, straighten it out in front of you, arms lift and lower, shake it out. Then come back into Tadasana at the top of your mat. You take that to the other side. Just reconnecting with your breath in Tadasana for a moment. And then on your next inhale, sweep palms overhead. Exhale, bending over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant hand, step right foot back, keeping the back knee lifted this time. I forgot. Taking hands to hips, bending into that back knee, lengthening tailbone down. Keeping that back knee bent or straightening it. Lifting the arms overhead. We'll be finding a deep, deep lunge here. It's a simple pose, but it can be tough. Now using your arms to help you transition into Warrior 3, bending into that front leg until you find your balance. I am pretty wobbly on this side. Finding loads and loads of energy through that back leg. And then transition into standing split. Again, really think about lifting with the glute. No worries if your leg doesn't go up that high, mine really doesn't. An option to challenge your balance by taking the hands behind the calf. And then release back down into your lunge. And then from here, taking Vinyasa, or skip it, we all meet in downward facing dog. Okay, lifting right leg, opening up the hips, staying here, or option to step that right foot behind the left leg, wild thing. Really lifting the hips, lifting the chest, reaching back with the right arm. And then transition back into your three-legged dog with the right leg lifted. And then hugging the knee into the chest, stepping forward, coming into low lunge, lifting back knee, taking a big step up to the top of the mat, catching hold of that left knee. And then taking hold of your strap, coming into big toe pose on the left leg. So wrapping your strap around the ball of the left foot, or just taking hold of the big toe, straightening that leg out in front of you. And then doing your best to keep your hips as level as possible, begin to open the left leg out to the left. Right arm reaches out to the right as a counterweight. Returning to center, taking hold of the strap with both hands, folding forward any amount. That is really not my thing. Releasing your strap, straightening the leg out in front of you. Then releasing Tadasana. Alright, you can get rid of your strap. We're done with that for the time being. Shake it all out. Bring back to Tadasana. And then inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping back to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog, pressing through the tops of the feet. Exhale, downward dog. From here, lower the knees. Sit the hips back to the heels, coming into child's pose. I'm taking wide leg child's pose. But if you don't want to take a child's pose, I've got a couple of other options for you. You might want to take puppy. I'm just demoing this now. So stacking hips above the knees. Arms walk forward and then sink down with the chest. Or if you don't want to do that, why not try dolphin? If you want a bit more of an active pose, working into the shoulders. So really pressing into forearms and sending the chest back towards the thighs. I'm just going to stick with child's pose, but just taking a little bit of a rest, and then we'll get flowing again. Wherever you are, slowly make your way into a downward dog. Taking any movements that you want. And then on an inhale, bend the knees, look forward. exhale, step up to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, come into Tadasana, hands to prep. From here, grabbing a couple of bricks, not completely necessary, but might be handy. Bringing the feet hips width, setting up for pyramid pose with the left leg stepping back. Option for the hands, you can clasp elbows behind the back. Maybe you want to take reverse namaste, or bringing hands to blocks either side of the right foot. Wherever you are, leading with the chest and folding over the right leg. Finding engagement in the legs in this pose, so we're not just passively stretching here. We think about lifting up the kneecaps and also sending that right hip back, left hip forward. Coming up halfway. And making sure you've got a block to the outside of the right foot. Take your left hand to that block, right hand to sacrum, and then rotate the upper spine to the right. Revolved triangle. Lifting up that right hand, if that feels okay, or keeping it on the sacrum. And we think about reaching the chest forward, so the spine is nice and long. Legs are still very engaged in this pose. Slowly releasing. You can take your blocks off to the side and then turn to face the long edge of your mat and adjust your feet, setting up for a wide leg forward fold. So fingertips are in line with the toes. And I'm just demoing here an option to bend into one knee and then the other, just a little bit of an extra stretch for the hips. You can just stick with a regular wide leg forward fold if you prefer. Coming back into stillness in your fold. Elbows are pointing behind you if they can bend. Then on an inhale, come up halfway. Take hands to hips and then slowly lift on up. We're coming into a warrior two with the right knee bent. So right toes turn to face the front of your mat, bending deeply into the right knee. Now finding reverse warrior. And on an exhale, side angle, right forearm to right thigh. Coming back into warrior two, cartwheel the arms down to one's lunge. Taking Vinyasa or skip it, we all meet in down dog. Okay, on an inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step up to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, arms lift. And exhale, Tadasana. Grabbing your block, setting up for pyramid on the second side, so sending right leg back this time. Framing the front foot with your blocks, taking hands to hips, or taking an arm variation. Maybe you're clasping hands behind the back, maybe you're taking reverse namaste. Just take whatever option feels right for you, folding over that front leg. And just noticing your breath here, finding that reconnection with the inhales and exhales. lifting the spine halfway, taking right hand to the block that's to the outside of the left foot, left hand to sacrum, rotating the spine open to the left this time, reaching left arm up. And keeping those legs nice and engaged. Okay, releasing the arm down and turning to face the long edge of your mat. You can move your blocks to the side. The option to take a bind in this wide leg forward fold by wrapping peace fingers around big toes. And as you fold, really think about reaching the crown of head towards the mat. And if you have the space to bend the elbows at all, you're sending them out wide to take you deeper into your fold. Releasing toes, coming up halfway, taking hands to hips, and then slowly making your way up. You move slowly out of a wide leg forward fold to avoid any dizziness. And then coming into warrior two with your left leg balanced. Reversing your warrior on an inhale, exhale side angle. Inhale warrior two. Exhale, runner's lunge, stepping back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward. Hold or step forward to sit. And grabbing hold of your strap, once again, just getting it handy. Lying down on your back, coming into bridge pose, so walking the heels in towards the hips, and then lifting the hips, lifting spine off the mat. Maybe you clasp your hands underneath the hips and shuffle the shoulders in. Releasing the spine back down. Preparing for our second bridge. Option to take arms overhead this time. I'm clasping elbows overhead. When you're ready, pressing into the feet, lifting hips, lifting spine. Making sure the knees aren't splaying out wide. And release. Coming up for a third bridge, or option to take wheel if that's in your practice. If we're taking wheel, hands come in line with the ears, elbows stuck above wrists, and press on up. And really think about sending your chest to the wall behind you. Straighten the arms as much as you can. Slowly releasing, bringing chin in towards chest. And then hug knees into chest. Really giving the knees a big squeeze. Might want to take some gentle rocks from side to side. And then from here, keeping hold of the right knee, left leg stretches out long, taking your strap and wrapping it around the ball of the right foot, and then straightening into the right leg, finding a hamstring stretch. Left hand can come to left hip. And then opening the right leg out to the right, doing your best to keep your left hip and left shoulder on the mat. So only releasing the leg open as much as you can without that left hip and left shoulder lifting. So it might not be very much. Bringing your leg back to center, and then lifting head and shoulders towards the knee. Then take the strap into the other hand and send the leg over to the left, coming into recline twist, so you can keep the leg straight, holding onto the strap, or if that's a bit too intense for you in this recline twist, you can bend into your right knee. To come out, bend into the knee, unwind the twist, and then just coming to Shavasana just for a moment, just to release for a second before switching sides. And then bend into the left knee, hugging it into chest. Taking hold of your strap, wrapping it around the ball of the left foot, straightening into that leg, finding your hamstring stretch. Bringing right hand to right hip. And then without allowing that right hip or right shoulder to lift up off the mat, you can begin to release the left leg open to the left. Coming back to center, and then taking the strap over the right leg, coming into your recline twist, keeping that left leg straight or bending the knee. Bending into the left knee, unwinding your twist. Hugging knees into chest. Then coming into happy baby, so taking hold of the outer edges of the feet. Rocking from side to side. Lengthening your tailbone down. Maybe you straighten the legs, coming into a straddle. And finding happy baby once again. And if there's any final pose that's calling out for you, this is your opportunity to take it. Otherwise, when you're ready, coming into your final resting pose, Shavasana. So legs stretched out in front of you. Option to place a bolster or a cushion underneath the knees if you have any low back issues. And closing down the eyes. and just noticing how you feel. Noticing the space that's been created in the body and the mind after drawing your focus inward.
An ocean, a cave, a dream that no one could save, a shelter, a whole act, a light that died with the night. You and I, we got our differences, yet I thought we were more alike than unlike. Months of rain and chest pain, what's the plan? Heavy breathing, stay insane. Grab my hand. Everything is grey inside this narrow maze. We speak, but oh, nothing. We run our separate ways. Do you ever think about me? Or are you busy with someone else? You and I, we got our differences, yet I thought we were more alike than unlike. Months of rain and chest pain, what's the plan? Heavy breathing, stay insane. Now grab my hand. Everything is grey inside this narrow maze. Everything has lost its taste. Months of rain and chest pain.
Wherever you are, if your mind has wandered, slowly bring your awareness back to the breath.
Months of rain and chest pain. Tell me what's the plan?
And noticing the sensations of your body at the points where it meets your mat. Just softly roll your head from side to side. Deepening your breath. And then slowly begin to find some movement in the fingers and the toes. Maybe take some wrist rolls. And take a big stretch overhead. And bend one knee and then the other and slowly roll onto your right side. Taking a moment. And then use your hands to help push you up, coming into a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. Keeping the eyes closed, placing palms and thighs, and then finding some intuitive movements, so kind of swaying your ribs from side to side. Just feeling into the body and what it wants, maybe taking a couple of neck rolls, moving the shoulders. And then make those movements smaller and smaller as you find center, sitting up tall, placing one hand over the other, over the heart. Inhaling deeply and exhaling fully. Again, inhale deeply. Exhale, this time releasing it through the mouth. Bringing hands to prayer and bowing. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope to see you very soon. Namaste.